Hey, you guys. What's up? It's Ali, your favorite eccentric SLO-mad, and I'm on the street. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Got my mic on, thought I would walk and talk with you guys today. Let me actually clip it. Let me clip the mic. So y'all, I'm doing a follow-up to a video that I posted. Thank you everybody for commenting. This video was, the question that I posed to you guys is, why aren't you traveling? Why aren't you moving abroad? What's keeping you from doing that? And the three resounding responses was health issues, afraid to travel solo, and safety. All right, y'all, so let's dig in right quick while I'm walking. And I'm gonna flip it so you guys can actually see the streets. And this will kind of help answer the safety and the solo questions and or commentary that a lot of people do ask about. And you guys know that I'm currently sitting in Thailand. Go around this truck. Because they stop on these streets to pick up people. But one of the things that, and it's not just Thailand, y'all know I travel solo. I've been out here for 5 years, but I was traveling solo even before I did my great escape from the US 5 years ago. And I don't regret a day of it. And don't regret, grateful that I did not need to partner up, do it with somebody, that I could actually get up and leave and start this journey on my own. So I've actually never come down this little side street here. I'm kind of digging it. Look at this. Some little shops over here. Listen, when you walk, the nooks and crannies that you can discover are endless. So that's another reason, all right? So safety. There are definitely places in the world where you're gonna go that may or may not have some of the best, or maybe not the best safety areas, or where you need to be concerned about safety. There are some places that there's lots of rules. There are some places where anything goes. And one of the things I would say, you know how, for the most part, I'm really big on go discover for yourself. And as a woman, more times than not, I will say do not base your feelings of safety on what a man says. Men travel differently than women. And that's period, point blank. Any man that comes on and says, what's the big deal? It's not that bad. Please remove them from your list of valued resources when it comes to things like that. Because obviously it's going to be different from their perspective to ours. But if you ask me a city, you name a country. If you don't know a city, just name a country that you're interested in going to. And I will tell you from my personal experience whether or not it's somewhere I think you should go or could go safely. And if there's caveats to that level of safety, I will tell you what those are as well. Lots of people will say, do not go to Egypt by yourself. I was there for 18 days. I ended up meeting people while I was there. So I ended up not being alone the entire time. But I walked around all by myself many times. And I would go back solo because I would never wait for someone to go and do things with. Because what if those people you're waiting for never actually go and do things. I'm gonna flip the screen and let you guys see. So that's a sky train up above. You'll see a lot of 420 friendly options. It's a tattoo parlor. But the BTS is what we call it here in Thailand, is one of the best ways to travel around. And it is very safe and very clean. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay, because obviously I'm out here in a lot of traffic. So there's lots of noise. All right, you guys, I had to clean up a comment. Another thing that people kind of ask about is when they say safety, a lot of times I don't know what they mean. Do they mean walking around? Do you mean food safety? Do you mean safe in terms of how they view you and, you know, treat you when you're in different places? So kind of ask the question and explicitly hold on, you guys. Explicitly kind of define what you mean when you ask about safety, because there's so many levels to it. Then the next thing, we're gonna leave health for last. Traveling solo, we'll talk a little bit about, because I already kind of alluded to this nuance about traveling solo. There's so many benefits to traveling solo. Like, for example, this is a stand. These people aren't just here on bikes. They're actually waiting for people who want or need to grab a motorbike. And maybe they didn't call Grab. They're just walking, which Grab is a ride share, just like Uber, Bolt, and Lyft. But maybe you don't have the app, or you don't want to, and you're walking down the street and you're like, okay, hey, let me just grab one. And yes, you can get on a motorcycle, motorbike, tuk-tuk, whatever the case may be, and pay to get to your destination. So as you guys will see, there's tons of cannabis places. This area that I'm living in right now is cannabis friendly. It's a cannabis haven. But that's something that is well known in Thailand. So as far as traveling solo, should you do it? Should you be afraid? Listen, there's nothing I can say or anybody else can say that will make you feel comfortable traveling solo. That will, change your true trajectory, so to speak, on whether or not it's something you should do or you should feel comfortable doing. But my hope is that maybe in sharing my walks, my experiences, and other people sharing theirs, because there's so many people who travel solo. So there is a plethora of examples of how to do it, where to do it, how to manage yourself during it. And I have different suggestions that I make around steps to take, kind of precautions, things to, it's a Michelin tire store, it's familiar, how to familiarize yourself in different areas so that you're more comfortable when you're solo, precautions to take as a woman traveling solo, Men have some concerns as well, as you should, because nothing is, 100% safe for anyone. So everyone should be mindful. Okay? So, there's so much I could say about safety. I'm sorry, traveling solo. But you guys know this is my life. I am a gap nomad and a slow madder. So I travel slow and I'm that gap year. I'm not retired and yet I'm not traditionally working anymore. So let's get to the health part. Let's talk about health. Let's talk about health, baby. Let's talk about you. Oh, have I been talking this long and it was muted? Or did it just mute? I don't know. You guys tell me if it was muted and I'm going to start all over if it was. So, we have a beautiful infinity style pool here. I feel like I need to end the video and start it all over. Was it muted? All right, I'm going to come into the center and log in with my laptop to see before I continue talking. Otherwise, this is a co-working space. Many of the newer high-rises have this. We'll do a video on benefits of being in a new building versus older buildings. I thought I was just going to walk and talk, but I need to make sure that you guys could hear me. If there's anybody on, could you guys hear me while I was walking? Because it just showed muted. And I don't know if that happened when I lost connection in the elevator or not. So, unfortunately, let's sit on this side because the sun is on this side. That's way better. So unfortunately, I don't know if you guys don't say anything. I don't know if you guys could hear me. So let me post my laptop before I carry on. I was responding, this video is in response to a video that I posted a couple days ago when I was walking in the park, and I asked you guys, what are some of the reasons why you have not gotten up and started your own personal journey? One of the resounding, or three of the most common comments was health, your current wellness, or concern about that, insurance, and traveling solo, and safety. And so I've talked already about safety and solo travel. So now I am just using up time to check and make sure that you guys could actually hear me while I was walking. Also, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I know it's about 11 p.m. Central Standard Time in the U.S. Let's see. Just getting signed on. I think I already have a connection here. I don't think they changed the password. They did not. And I've been here before. You guys, I'm currently on a house sit, a repeat house sit, here in Thailand, in Bangkok. This is one of the people that I have sat for my first time last December, for 3-4 weeks, and then I think I've sat for her like 4 other times. So I'm a regular, she's a regular, which is fantastic. All right, you guys, hold on. I am getting there. I just want to see my live video and see if there's sound from earlier. Because I believe there's sound now. So uno momento. I don't know how I'll be able to check to see if there was sound from before. And I hate. Hey there. Good afternoon, Arvin. I'm trying to check to see if there was sound earlier. Let me see. Oh, it looks like there was no sound. Maybe not. Oh, there was. That's yay. Okay, so I don't have to delete this video and start all over. Okay, so here we are. We're back. So I'm going to finish off with the health part, the wellness, the insurance. Oh my gosh, this is such an important and timely concern, because I was just talking about this with some good friends of mine from Phuket when I was house sitting for them last week, and they treated me to some a birthday lunch and birthday cake. I will share it with you guys. You guys can see it was so sweet. But anyway, we were talking about wellness. Oh, my apologies. Can you guys hear me? I just have too much going on. I have too much going on. So we were talking about wellness in different countries as compared to the US. And one of the conversations that comes up quite often with, oh, my insurance isn't going to transfer. I'm not going to be able to get wellness care or health care when I go abroad, or it's going to be too expensive. I can't afford to pay out of pocket. And my first thing that I like to ask is, have you done any research? How do you know for certain? Because everyone has different ailments, different health issues. So there may be some things that they really, maybe you're deep into your treatments and things like that. And, or you have you're very particular about your doctor, and you only have that doctor in the States, and you don't know if you can go back and forth, all of those kinds of things. That's one thing. But what I often find is, while that is one nuance of it, I also often find just basic wellness, healthcare, being able to go to a doctor that speaks English, things of that nature are some of the main topics of conversation when people are talking about wellness and or the fear of not being able to continue with whatever wellness structure you currently have. And one of the big things with Americans is we have a very jaded view of healthcare around the world. We have an assumption that the only place in the world with excellent healthcare is the United States. And the truth is, we don't have great healthcare in the United States, especially for different demographics of people. It's not a universal kind of thing, even though we've got ACA, Affordable Care Act, and things like that. And there's multiple reasons and things to think about it. Like how do you compare the United States with 370 million people to a place that has 5 million people? It's really hard to do that when you're talking about, wellness and free healthcare. But there's only a few places that I've been that I don't even have on my list of, would that be a good place to go for healthcare? And one would be, I'm not even going to name any, because there's different reasons why. Maybe this place just isn't known for their medical care facilities, or maybe it's super expensive like it is in the States because they don't have the robust systems in place, or it's just not well known, or it's a smaller place or a smaller community. So, they have 2-tier systems, which is the public open. You get like a number and you tell them what your issue is and they call you, and it could be 3 weeks later kind of thing, or you pay for the premier, which gets you to see a doctor of your choice like right away. So it might be a little bit more expensive, but 9 times out of 10, it's still not going to be anywhere near as expensive as it is in the States. And oftentimes we as US citizens, passport holders, we base most of our costs on our copay, like what we have to pay after our insurance has covered everything. And that is where the glory of it all kind of opens up and becomes like, just really clear and eye-opening, is when you find out that what we pay around the world, especially like, say, for example, in Thailand or China or some of these other places, the amount that we pay for the entire procedures is less than the copay we pay in the States. It's less than our monthly insurance premiums that we pay every month. So what if you're a person who never goes to the doctor, like myself? Even at the ripe young age of 54, I just had my solstice solar year just renewed. So I'm in my new year. I don't go to the doctor very often. I have some medical things that I'm going to get done while I'm here in Bangkok or while I'm here in Thailand. And I was paying for medical care since, I had a job that offered medical care. And when my son was younger, he was covered, which was great, and all these things. And so we grow up with this idea, or we live with this idea that this is the structure, this is how it has to be. So when we go to other places and it's not like that, and you just walk in and you pay, $100, $200 for full-fledged, evaluations and or dental work and cleanings, and you don't need insurance, you don't need to show you have a job, just pay for it. When we don't understand that that's how the rest of the world works, and it's more than quality, it's better than some of the experiences we have in the States, especially as melanated women. Black women have some of the worst experiences in U.S. hospitals. In some instances, we have great healthcare, but 9 times out of 10, when it comes to childbirth, we hear this all the time. The statistics are not lying. And so I want you guys to keep that in mind when you are considering, you're concerned about your insurance converting over and being able to use it. One of the things I will say is research, ask specifically. Because sometimes what it means is maybe you keep your insurance in the States because that just makes you feel better or whatever, but you add a supplemental insurance. And you're probably like, I'm paying $300 to $400 a month. Why would I want to pay supplemental like SLO-mad or something, or Alliance or whatever, and pay an extra $50 to $100 a month so I can have supplemental that covers me abroad? or check your credit cards because your credit cards cover you. There's different things that you can check to make sure that you have coverage. If you're taking a flight, buy the insurance. So you have insurance on top of the insurance of the credit card, on top of your insurance that you have, or your supplemental care that you're paying for. So yeah, I agree. If you're already paying $200 or $300 a month and you never see a doctor, you might not want to fork over another $300 to $400, right? You may be paying Cobra $500, something equivalent to Cobra, $500 a month, and you never go to the doctor. And you're literally going, yeah, but if I go to another place, it's got to be higher than that, and I'm not going to get a doctor who speaks English. 9 times out of 10, that is completely inaccurate. More times than not, there are so many places, especially here in Thailand, where your physicians are excellent English speakers. They understand the processes and procedures. They understand the equipment. They understand the procedures that you're going to be going through, how to explain that, how to walk you through. And from everything that I've seen, the experiences are amazing. Like when I look at the full healthcare, because I'm planning on doing the full, like they do this in Turkey too. They do it in multiple places, and it ends up being like, $500 to $800 or something like that, or even less than that. Like I've seen people, under $250 full body diagnosis and evaluation with blood work. With blood work usually means it's a little bit more expensive, but it becomes a full day thing where they feed you like all the food. You've got like lounge experience through the entire day. You have all of your tests, and then you have the whole discussion with a physician at the end of the day before you leave, and they basically tell you good health, questionable health, things that you need to be concerned, all of those things. And I have yet to see an experience like that for the common person who walks in off the street. Obviously, you need to make an appointment, but the common person who happens to pop up in the country and says, hey, I want a full evaluation. Can we do that? What is it going to cost me? And you are looking at a few $100s to get a complete workup of what your diagnostic is for your health, whether it's your dental, whether it's your physical health, I have a friend that we were just talking, and I'm just really animated about this because it's like so awesome. And it's something that like, as we're getting older, our parents are getting older, our friends are getting older, one of the biggest fears is, oh my God, I don't want to go anywhere and I don't have healthcare. And I'm going to almost just say it. You leave the US, you may actually live longer. First of all, food. Around the world, while there are things around the world that are, they're starting to, these companies like Nestle and Coca-Cola and all of these big brands have all of these little one-off brands that are making the same things but selling it abroad and so you still have to be mindful, but there are rules and regulations pretty much everywhere else in the world that 90% of what we produce in the US is illegal in other countries, right? So right out of the gate, being able to eat foods that you like without having gastric, situations as a result. Bread, cheese, 2 things that we literally say don't do in the US. I can't go to the US and eat bread at all. Not anymore. I haven't been able to for probably since I left 5 years ago, but before that, so I would say it's been somewhat. If I wasn't making the bread myself, and even then it doesn't matter because you're using the flour that they put all the chemicals in and they strip everything and then they reinsert it all. Anyway, we won't get into that. I won't go down that long road, that diatribe. But that's one of the things that we're always concerned about is as we're getting older, are we going to be have proper health care? Am I going to be able to call an ambulance? Yes, they actually have real ambulances, and they actually come and get you. And yeah, it does not cost you $15,000. Okay, $1,500, which is crazy. You're 30 minutes from the hospital, 15 minutes from the hospital, but yet you have $1,000, $3,000 ambulance bill in the US. That doesn't happen anywhere else.
in the world, you guys. And so I really employ you guys to do some heavy research. Like when you're Googling and looking for like the cool places to visit and stuff like that, start Googling medical tourism. And not just, the cosmetic. There's more than just cosmetic tourism. There is dental tourism. There is skin regeneration tourism, like in Korea and pretty much anywhere in Asia, at fractions of the prices, wellness and different health things. My friend who's in Phuket, I'll get back to that story. She was talking about one of the things when I first met her, and I met her through pet sitting, and now we're friends. She always talked about how we would go out and she couldn't eat. She didn't want to eat anything because she has always had these stomach issues, gastronomical issues and things, and never knowing what's going to upset her stomach and whether or not she'll be able to eat and then she won't be able to sleep, and then all these things. And hey, try charcoal tablets, try this, try that. And she's just like, yeah, it just doesn't work. And so she finally decided to come to a well-known, I don't know the name of them, I'm going to find out, wellness center here in Bangkok, and they practice Chinese medicine. So yes, everything is old school tinctures, if you Eat, Pray, and Love, the movie, when Julia Roberts' character goes to Bali and she goes to see Tuk. Is it Tuk? Tuk is his name. But anyway, the medicine man. She went to go see him, and before that, actually, she ended up hurting her leg, and it wasn't healing, and so she went to see the medicine woman. I'm sorry, and she created this tincture for her to drink. No, that was for when she was inebriated. They gave her something to drink, and it was awful, but it worked instantly. And then healing this huge gash that she had on her leg, they whipped up something and herbal medicines from the trees and stuff out here and put it on her leg. And that evening it had closed up. And that's real. Like, you guys, it's not like an Andy ointment type thing. These are like real remedies, using plants for what they were made for, medicinal purposes, right? But anyway, she was talking about how she went to this medicinal doctor, Chinese-based doctor here in Bangkok, or Chinese-based medicine. And for the first time in her 40-something years, she literally does not have gastric issues. She's like, I've never, ever felt like this before. I've never been this good. And she goes, she was doing, it was basically like a tea tincture that she would soak in the morning, have some in the morning, and have before bed. And now she only does one sachet a day, you guys. So anyway, and it was like pennies compared to what she probably would have paid in Tokyo, where she's from, or for an example, in the US. And I just say all that to say, I'm just sharing a story that don't completely write it off unless you've done all the research. And that is investing in time, talking to different people who have traveled abroad to either have procedures, check out the tourism, medicinal tourism abroad, or you have really dug into whatever your ailment is, and you've done some really good research. If it's simply, it's outside of the US, it's going to suck. Their doctors don't speak English. They're not going to know what to do. I really implore you to kind of just erase that whole mentality, erase it, throw it in the garbage. And we have to be responsible in that and say, that just because things are super expensive in the US does not make them better. So because we paid a lot of money for medical degrees and to be doctors, and we pay a lot of money for insurance, and all of these systems that we have in place don't make it the bona fide 100% best system to utilize for your care. So I hope that is helpful. And thank you guys again for jumping in and responding to the video. I'm going to pose another question on another video. And I hope you guys will chime in on that as well. I hope that this is helpful. I hope that the information share, it reaches any and everyone who needs this information, who's questioning, who's got some concerns. And the other thing that I would strongly encourage is start to visit places. If you have the ability to move about, start moving about, because if you can, if you don't want to and fear holds you too strongly, then so be it. I mean, the harshest truth is the truth that you give yourself. The furthest walk that we take is the walk that we choose to take. And in some instances, I know some people are like, yeah, but some people can't go anywhere. And I understand we have a whole situation where that's happening right now in a number of different places. I get that. But for those of us who are able, who don't have those roadblocks and walls and systems in place that are locking us to a particular location, if you want to go, go. If you want to explore, explore. If you want to try and test and see and really, find out for yourself, I really encourage you to do that. Because if you don't, only you know what you missed out on. Other people can speculate, like we can want things for other people really badly. Like that's one of my defaults. My defaults is that I want this experience for everyone. In my family, my friends, people I haven't even met yet. I want this experience for everyone. I want people to at least once and hopefully go to a place where you can go, wow, I had no idea. I had no idea. It could be so great. You know what I'm saying? And there's negatives, lows with the highs. But I'm going to tell you, I'm willing to reach out on a limb and say you're going to have more highs than you're going to have lows. Your expectations from where you come from may not be the best representation of what there is to offer out here. All right, you guys. So anyway, with that, I'm going to close and thank you guys again for chiming in on the other video, giving me some information to share with you guys on this video, for walking with me through the streets of Bangkok. We can do that again if you so enjoy it. And subscribing. Like, subscribe, share, please. And let me know what you want to hear about. What are some of the things there's so much information. Please check out my shorts. I'm going to be posting snippets from a lot of things that I've already posted before, but are little tidbits. So you don't have to go and listen to a 38-minute video to catch some really cool tips, or something where I'm walking around and you get to actually see real time what it really looks like in these places. And it's not, some jacked up AI version of something only showing you the Taj Mahals of the area. That's not me. I like to show you the real deal. And for some, that's boring. Because you're like, that's not what I want to see. I want to see the streets, Ali. I want to see where can I go? Where can I party? We have some of that. But my focus right now is really on the everyday person, the person who wants to renew, restore, relocate. It might be my new logo. Renew. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Renew, restore, relocate. That's where my focus is. It's for really the people who are ready to truly embark on a new journey, and you want to know how. And a lot of the stuff that I talk about, a lot of what you see me do is transferable, no matter where you are. There's going to be nuances for different countries in terms of cultural related things, legality things, visa things. But in terms of how you move about, it's really going to be transferable information. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. I can go on and on. You guys have a wonderful evening. If you are, your evening is starting, have a wonderful day. If you're out here on this side of the world with me, and I'll chat with you guys later. Y'all know the drill, toodles and noodles. Peace and hair grease.